Of course, the very first one that everyone agreed upon was the diversity, and we're not just talking about skin color or race, we're talking about age, we're talking about residents, we're talking about stakeholders, we're talking about occupations, we're talking about life situations, you know, that kind of diversity is what we're talking about. But then we're also talking about with our strengths, diversity and talent. We have a tap dancer here, you know, this kind of thing, but we also have educators, we have moms, we have people, again, that bring information to the table, DJs, all of this kind of thing going on. We have grant writers, that's also part of our diversity. And then also we have diversity in that we have grassroots people here that are part of the community that have really been affected by some of the things that have happened in the community. But then we have people that have not. And so that kind of gives us a really broad spectrum of understanding of what we're doing here. Also, a big one is community resilience. This community is very resilient in terms of making things happen and their passion for this work. So I thought that, as a whole, we thought that was important. The weakness, again, the outreach to youth isn't quite there where we need it to be. Again, it's similar to the other group. To my understanding, it's spread too thin. There seems like there's a lot on the table, and there's not one or two or three things that we're focusing on with laser sharp vision, and so that we might be spreading ourselves too thin. Some lack of structure, process, and protocol, and that's something that sounds like it's being developed. There's voids in the community, i.e. Delray, where you have those pockets where people aren't being engaged and those people aren't engaged with COC. And for example, you may have crime and other things that spread out from there, like a cancer. What are our relationships with city officials? We don't know. We have a new financial manager, Mr. Orr. What is our relationship with him going to be like? Have we established that relationship? Have we introduced ourselves to him? Do we know what's going to happen? And then the big one is, when we looked around the table today, we don't have any business leaders here. We have tons of restaurants in Mexican Town, but we don't see any owners at this table. We have tons of retail. We don't see any of those people here. So why aren't those people here that are so affected by what's happening within their own community where their businesses are? So as a body, is that something we communicate to them? Because we do have a voice to say, well, we choose to shop at this store because this business owner supports our mission and what we want to do. So, you know, you have to be really aware of those businesses coming into your community and being a part of that community, not just being consumers of the funds that they're taking, but giving back. Also, the opportunity, again, with the officials, we need to now outreach to businesses, i.e. restaurants, retail, and get them involved and get them at the table. Is it an opportunity for us to meet the new financial manager? And this is kind of a weakness and an opportunity and possibly a threat because he is the financial manager. Will he dictate, or does he have the power to tell us where this $6 million is going to go? That was just discussed earlier this morning. Can he go and say, I understand this is for Southwest community, however, I am the financial manager and I will let you guys know where this money is going to go. So is that a possible threat? And I'll go into that. And also opportunity is for COC to be in schools, to have a spot in schools where you can reach the youth. Possible threat, just the financial crisis in general, crime, blight, foreclosures, lack of communication. We have to be careful within here that we're communicating effectively, whether it be emails, whether it be through meetings, telephone calls, but everyone's getting the same information. Lack of employment, again, that goes to the area. And also relationship with partners. Sometimes those can be a benefit, but they could also be a threat if partners aren't willing to get along. And certainly if business partners are in Southwest community, in Spring Mills Village, in Mexican Town, but they see COC as a threat and they don't want anything to do with us, so that might be a potential threat for us if they see us as a threat and we see them as one as well. Also, money is always a threat. Funding, how long does that last? It's 2016, but life goes much longer, so we think, beyond 2016. And then politics is always a threat, and that can be internal and external.
Anybody else in that group want to add anything? Encouragements, clarifications, questions? No? Who else was in that group? Raise your hand. Good job, guys.